Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Hyperloops Shots Fired podcast. It's your boy, BobbySapphire. Joined with me tonight is top four, number four, fourth place at Worlds, HonestlySarcastc. What's up, Joe?
Doing all right. Tired.
Yeah, man.
Hella tired.
It's a tough adjustment coming back into the week. And third on the mic is our boy, Reflex, Andrew Cox. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
It's going pretty amazing. So it is Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, and we're recording this to be published probably on Friday. So we're just going to be talking about Worlds recap. Post-World, so let's just jump into it because I don't want to influence where this is going. So I just want post-Worlds feelings. Like, how do you feel post-Worlds? Reflex, let's go to you first, buddy.
I think like the main feeling is just like depression.
Deep, dark depression.
Yeah, let's just start off real nice and heavy.
All right.
No, I think it was just like such a phenomenal time that it's always tough to come back to the real world and miss all your boys that you met and hung out with all weekend. So it's a little sad, that you don't have the real life connection that we had for the whole week. But other than that, it was a great time. I think it was so much fun meeting up with people, finally putting names to faces. We had some really good performances from the team, so things to celebrate.
Yeah, I can echo all of that. Have we not all have we not seen you since Gen Con?
It was Gen Con, man. It was so long ago.
That's insane to me. Mainly because we talk all the time. Like weekly, sometimes bi-weekly phone calls. It just doesn't feel like I haven't seen you since then. And like when we talk, we don't Skype or anything. I probably haven't like seen your face in 9 months. It just doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, it's definitely true. I think like the daily Discord conversations and like weekly calls pretty much makes up for that. But it blew my mind when I like last looked and said I haven't seen those guys since Gen Con.
Yeah, it's messed up. And then so we can talk about, piggybacking off what you said, just like how amazing all the loopers did. I know I didn't really participate in the looper sheet you programmed, but like I wish more people, someone filled in my games, but I wish more people did because I would love to have all the day 2 performances.
That was me.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I filled in your.
Oh, you were filling in my games? Oh, thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
What a guy. Sweetheart. But like it looks like by the spreadsheet we had 20 people on day 2, which seems pretty good. But I feel like maybe even there were more. I don't know.
There were definitely more. A lot of people just never filled the thing out or wrote their thing. And like Quenka's not even on the list, man.
It's because no one knew what day. Not even Cuenca knew what day he was playing.
Nah, at some point we figured it out.
Yeah, at some point.
But still never got added.
Yeah, and I don't know. We like day 2 or day 1B. Like we really, Alvis went 6-0, and then we had like 5 or 6 guys 5-1. That was pretty sick. Just in general, the loopers did great. I was pretty proud of them.
Well, because Mate Dragne went 6-0 on his day as well, right?
Who did?
Salt. Mate. I think that I think there were a bunch of loopers at 6-0. So it was Alvis and I think Mate.
No, Edwin was the 6-0.
There were 3 days of 6-0s.
Yes. Luke
Yeah,
and Andrew.
I'm pretty sure he was 5-1.
Luke and Andrew.
Oh, maybe.
Edwin and Alvis, and then me and the Sabine Yoda player.
Oh, Yoda, you're right.
I am right.
Die, people.
Damn Skippy. Mete Salt went 5-1, and then I think he went 3-0 on day 2.
Okay.
All right, Joe. Jan's excluded. What are your post Worlds emotional feelings?
Sleep. I want it real bad.
You haven't slept yet?
Doesn't exist. Nah, man. I'm still on like that 3-hour night sleep grind because like work. I got in, went straight back to work, did like a 12-hour shift, got home, slept like 3 hours, got back up, went back to work. So like I've just been dozing off the entire time. Like I literally was vlogging so I'd be awake on my car rides in.
Nothing worse than being tired on the ride. I used to call people just to talk on the phone when I was falling asleep. I found that was definitely the best way to stop falling asleep while driving. Yeah, to not die.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how about like Worlds? Like, so you came in 4th. expectation above expectation, below expectation. Like, how do you feel about that performance? We talked about it like very, very briefly earlier today, and I have like conflicting feelings about it. So I'm looking for you to expound a little bit on how you feel being fourth at Worlds. And I just want to keep
So
hammering the point that you were fourth.
I'm actually pretty disappointed with myself.
Yeah.
Not on the placement, but the overall lack of preparation. So like I already knew going in that Stairs wasn't necessarily a great match for what I was playing, just based on the reps that you guys had gotten while I was pretty much working
Yeah,
the
I want to
entire
talk
damn
about
time.
that actually. Let me add. Go ahead.
Yeah. So like I didn't make adjustments to try to make that match better. I was just like, well, we're just gonna hope not to play it. Uh,
I can't believe you
and
did too. I can't believe you dodged it the whole way because, like, everyone. It seems like everyone else played it.
yeah, no, that's definitely exactly what happened. But my theory was I will just avoid it via the bye and just that round two, and then just be out of the sea of jizz and move on with my life.
Yeah, but
And
was Stairs in the Sea of Jizz? It put 2 in the top 8. It's the only deck that put 2 in the top 8, right? And it came in second.
There was 2 Sabines
no,
in the
yeah,
top 8.
Oh,
top eight.
Biggie made top 8, right?
Can't you see?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes your dice just hypnotize me.
But yeah, so like I was really disappointed in myself that I didn't try to figure that matchup out. So I go into that match, I'm playing against Mads, and I'm just kind of praying that he has no idea what's going on and fucking throws the game away.
Seems like a terrible plan.
It's just
like
not
even
four,
for
it's
you,
fine.
that's a harebrained scheme.
It was, and I was really ecstatic to get that 41% chance to win that game one. Like, I don't know who saw it, but it got to a point where I was like, well, I'm gonna do 4 here, and if he claims I get 41% chance to win, and if he does his other stuff, then I could try to roll out and kill him at probably some similar or lower clip. So let's just throw up some prayers. And he claimed, and I was like, all right, let's do this. I got
Here
3
we go.
rerolls. Come on, Fang Fighter die. And it let me down. But whatever.
That's
I have to
rough.
live on that side of probability at some point, right?
Hey, I was with you. I'm like super excited to do the commentary on my top 16 game. I'd kind of forgotten about it because the game 1 was sort of overshadowed by like my weird Jeremy ruling.
Yeah.
And I forgot that like I had to ditch my whole hand to mill myself, and I hit the damage on the final roll, because I was dead to an untapped backup muscle. So the only action I had was to discard my hand to not, to mill myself and try and hit the last damage, and I got it. It was pretty sick.
Yeah. No, we like the thing about the game is that we are very aware of our outs, and we'll kind of take what we get.
Mm-hmm.
And go for it. Sometimes we get it, sometimes we don't. But like it was just one of those situations where I really wish I had the additional time to get the testing in. Like I had cut a resistance bomber for a holdout blaster, and I knew that a lot of my weird 2-player aggro matchups came down to pretty much sticking a resistance bomber, Yoda being the last guy alive because they go after my 7 health characters, and Yoda flipping to a 6 and then killing them off of it after getting like a peak or something. And I mentioned it several times when we were talking in the whole like group chat, but I still went and cut it for a fucking holdout blaster, and I was like, yeah, it's a holdout blaster though.
Yeah, I know that I specifically said that it was not my favorite decision that you made.
The holdout blaster was still good throughout the day, so like
sure.
I really can't complain. Like it's hard to complain when you get 4th place, but
But
I
leave
just
it to you. To
really
find out
wish
how
I
to
had
do it.
more than like a week of playtesting to try to figure that deck out.
Yeah, and that's just kind of the way.
Not even.
The way,
it
yeah,
definitely wasn't a week of playtesting.
yeah. I think would you like post that on Sunday, and you're like, I think this deck is good. Like
Yeah,
Reflex, you were smart. You didn't even entertain the idea. You were like, no, fuck that. I'm not doing that.
No, I locked in like a week before.
Yeah, I actually like was gonna leave right from school to go to the airport and came home to get the dice for that deck, just in case.
Well, to be fair, like in those matches we were playing, shit was not going well for you. I think if you had any reps with something like that, you may have considered switching.
For sure.
Yeah.
After the beating I put on most of the decks that we were playing.
Yeah, I mean it was definitely good, and I ran it I think I ran it a total of 4 times, and I was like, yeah, this is really good, but and I think this goes to what you just said about like we play to our outs, is that with the unfamiliarity of the deck, I don't know what my outs are.
Yeah.
And well, I think I'm like okay at figuring out max damage, like just being able to miss stuff because I'm not super familiar with it, would be too scary a feeling. And I specifically know that by being super familiar with the deck that I ran, I was able to win games that I otherwise would not have won.
Hmm. Hmm. But yeah, that, like for me that's the big, you know, quote unquote, like downfall or emotional feeling with the stuff. Like I'm just disappointed that I I didn't more accurately try to figure that match out on Saturday when we were doing all the testing. I actually don't think I played a single game with my deck. I was pretty much helping other people to pick up and figure out their stuff. And I kind of just like sat around, and then I was like, all right, I'll do it in the morning, and then didn't do much of anything at all. Um, so like it was just like, But as soon as it was me versus Mads top four, I was like, fuck my life, why couldn't you lose?
Yeah,
Like,
feels bad, man.
but it's life.
It
Whatever.
is.
He deserved it. He got games and testing in. He also probably had no idea what the fuck was going on there, but
Yeah,
he did
just
what he had to do, and he got the win.
stuck to his game plan.
Yep.
My post worlds feelings are like conflicted. I feel like we should be happier that we came in top four. Like the two of us once again showed up, had a great tournament, and came in third and fourth in the fucking world. Like that should be something we're proud of. And like you're disappointed, and I feel like emotionless.
Yeah.
Like I thought I would care. Yeah, I feel empty. And you know, I don't think I've been shy about saying like Destiny's not my favorite game I've ever played. I love the competition, and I love our squad. I love our community. So I'm really happy in that respect. But like I worked, and again I was in the same boat as you where I didn't get to prep as much because of the school play and everything, and I was mostly working on mill, which I didn't run. But at the same time, like, you know, I've been working on Sabine on and off and just like talking to, you know, you Reflex about it for so long that it's kind of ingrained in me. And I don't know, I just feel like I should feel more. I feel like I should be happier, and I'm not. And I don't know if it's the trolls or not. It probably is like partly the trolls, but I don't know. I wish I was more excited.
It's probably like primarily the trolls, primarily the bullshit that occurred, and the fact that there's no not huge benefit, but like there wasn't anything where we're like, oh, we got this shit, you know, blah blah blah.
We got these patience art prints. Sick.
And these power action tokens that sold for a few $100s. It's like, yay!
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are we doing here again?
Yeah.
But
it's
yeah,
validation.
so like,
it's validation for the last 9 months we put in playing this game.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with just like the general feelings around Worlds. As at least for me, this is my second Worlds, so like I guess I don't view it as necessarily like the pinnacle of competition, even though that's what like it should be. It's more of like a solid competition where you get to see everybody and hang out and have a great time. Like it's more of a convention feel than it really is like the World Championship. So I think
that's a good point.
Like the feelings we had at the social stuff outside of the game kind of maybe overshadowed the actual competition, and so like the good feelings we have towards the week, I think more reflect that than they do like, you know, you guys got top four and that's awesome. But outside of that, we had a great time and met and hung out with a bunch of really cool people.
Yeah, hung out with people we've been talking to on like so many people came up to me and you know they're like, oh, my name is like whatever Jim Steele, and then you're like, oh, okay, nice to meet you, and they're like, no, you know, they're like when Smurl was like, no, I'm Smurl. I was like, oh my god, I almost jumped into his arms, that big hunk of man. I was just like like it just made me so happy to meet these people that I've never met. And
he did mention that hug was his most memorable experience at World.
Oh, did he? Yeah. I mean, it was a good hug. Back in my youth when I was like in college hugging everybody, I was a good hugger. I kind of lost that skill. Kind of only hug 2 people now.
I don't know, man. With all those people you hugged, they remember it.
I'm saying I was like into it. That was real love.
It's gonna be like that first time you had sex and you remember it. It's gonna be like, oh,
wow,
God, that's the greatest hug that ever existed.
I definitely don't remember much of that at all.
There are too many of those. I forgot about all of them.
Yeah, they kind of disappeared. So, all right. So it's not. So this is an interesting point that Reflex brings up. It's not the pinnacle of competition. I have two questions for that. The first one is there a pinnacle of competition? Like, can there even be? What could we do to make what could a Destiny tournament be to be the pinnacle of competition? If it wasn't just what we went through against like the Destiny Council and Artificery, who both crushed it. Like, what else where else is there to go in terms of pinnacle of competition?
Multi-format worlds.
Oh my God. I love it. Other than needing to do trilogies, but like, can it be worlds? Like Andrew, X-Wing just changed its worlds to be invite only. That seems fucking sick, right? But like, that's not gonna, like, people are probably gonna be sad because the X-Wing community is so great that like everyone just loves to hang out, and they're gonna lose that. Like, what are they even gonna have for that? You know?
Yes, I mean, there's still a lot of obviously info that hasn't come out yet. I
Oh,
think
yeah,
there
of
are
course.
ways to do it though that it can be both. So like I think we can have an invite-only tournament that is meant to be, kind of like the pinnacle of competition. Like you have to have gone through some set qualification to make it in there. But then you can also have casual non-invite-only tournaments around that, so that you can still have the same feel of bringing all those people together. But then you have this one main tournament that like only the best of the best can play in. But then there's other stuff for those other people that want to just come hang out and still want to participate and have stuff to do. So I think there's ways to do it. But yeah, for me, it's two things. So one is qualification. So I think making sure that the best of the best are there. You want, the best players from around the world, not just the US, to be able to make it. So, your registration period has to be done well, which it wasn't this year. And then also, I think prizes have a lot to do with it too. Like there has to be a reason for people to put the work in. So, if the number one prize this year in reality was those power action tokens, are probably going to be the thing that sells for the most, and that's for top 8. Like, all right, that's cool, but $300 to $400 for how many hours we put into the game. That's not a huge kind of output for that. So, I think those are the two main things: is like to make sure that you have some kind of qualification registration period that the best are there, and then that there's a reason for those best players to put in the work, really hone their skills and make sure that they are playing at the top of their game.
Yeah, but what could, like, I don't even know what you could give out that would get people to come like across the pond.
Yeah. I mean, cash is always the easy answer, but we know that's never going to happen. So
Right.
I don't know. I don't have the answer. I don't pretend that I do. But the in quotes greatest prize in gaming currently is not. So there's got to be something better.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't even get our fucking names and shit on it. So
on the
like,
card, yeah. So it feels bad.
Yeah, I have a feeling that probably has not a ton to do with FFG, because I think they do it for their non-Star Wars games. So
they do it for the non-Star Wars games, yes.
Yeah, I have an idea of why that is.
Yeah.
Correct. No, it's understood, but like, it's no longer the greatest in anything when you create a fucking card.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, yeah, well, no one will ever know this besides the people that played this game down the line. Good luck.
All right. So still on that, not the pinnacle of competition. You and I, Joe, we came in third and fourth. Me third, you fourth. Because I was.
That's the fifth time for people counting.
Really? I gotta up that. So yeah. So sorry, I was cut off there. I came in third. You came in fourth. Are we good? Like, I've asked this before. Are we good? How good are we? Like, is the world bad? No, the world's not bad, because like good players, the people that we expected to do well, many of them did well. But like, I don't know. I guess I'm just asking my honest opinion is, how good are we really? Because I always wrestle with this.
There's varying levels to it. So if the questions, were we obviously the top 4 best there? Yeah. If you were trying to give a better tag, you could probably also do that, just because of like the counter picks thing.
Mm-hmm.
You also have to give Edwin Chen. I don't know why I
yeah.
called him Edward. My bad.
You're just tired.
Yeah. Really good play because of the whole counter pick with Kylo too. I mentioned it in one of the vlogs, but he was already on it. Whereas like Sabine was a great counter to a lot of the more mainstream decks at the end of the last format, and the decks that countered them. So Sabine there was a great counter pick. And then Kylo 2 is a great counter pick because we had all those pretty much like pseudo mono color decks. And you get the answers there. And then like I don't get a ton of credit because I'm just a fucking maniac, but I always just go off the deep end with whatever fucking deck I'm playing, and I'm like, hey, let's play some random pile that I'll never have a mirror match with. And people were like, what's going on? And then you fucking destroy them. So like I don't know, it's one of those things where like I think we adequately predicted the meta, which we are pretty commonly do. So it's sure that makes us good.
Okay.
But clearly you're the greater Hyperloop because you went 9-0 and then got the top 4, and I only went 8-1 and got
with
top
a bye.
Yeah,
And
you
I
used your
my
buy. Like, no balls. Yeah, I was so I just want to correct you there. I was actually 11-0 before I lost. So, just want to make sure you knew how to count to 11.
Huh?
Forget
So,
it, dude.
moving on from that.
How many games did you lose in Top Cut?
2.
So you 2-0'd 16-8?
Yeah, obviously. I went 13-0 before I lost anything. Jeremy even pointed that out to me. He's like, "You're 13-0. That's unheralded or unprecedented." It was on something, but he was impressed. like you all should be.
I don't know,
So
man.
not impressed.
One of the
No, so
victories
not
has a question
impressed.
mark with time, bro.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Jesus.
All right,
Shots
so
fired. Shots fired.
Yeah, I think you're fucking aiming the wrong way, buddy.
Hey,
All right.
hey, you went at the urinal next to me. It's not my fault.
off the rails completely, 100%.
What is happening?
So back to your original point.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do with just consistency. I think it's tough to know, right? Over any number of things that can happen, but consistently putting up top performances, I think is what really dictates who are the best in the world. So I mean, I think one person that definitely needs a shout out outside of you guys is Nick.
Nick, yeah. I tweeted about this
He's
today.
the only person I believe that has 3 major tournament top cuts, so both worlds and a continental.
Nick OB.
Like that's absolutely insane. That's ridiculous consistency. Like I think it's stuff like that, just consistently making top cuts, regionals, nationals, continentals, worlds. That's how you show you're the best players, not just one tournament finish.
Yeah,
Was he X1 for Top Cut or was he X2?
Don't know.
I think he was X. I had it up.
I think X2, but I'm not confident in that.
Yeah, so I
You guys talk. I have it in my phone.
Okay, go ahead. You do it. So I was just gonna say, like, I've been just sort of like tweeting on my personal account and retweeting as the Hyperloops, just like thoughts about Worlds over the last like couple days. And I tweeted this morning, just like Taxter at Taxter4, because it's his Twitter handle. Top 16 at Destiny Worlds proves further how much of a beast he is. People put too much stock in a regional win. Consistency is the hallmark of the great ones. Nick Obi is one of the best hashtag Star Wars Destiny players on Earth. And yeah, and he had 2 regional top 8s, including a second place. And I feel like nobody was hyping him up before Worlds, which is ridiculous. Like, do you know how many times he occurred on like people's Fantasy Worlds contest thing or whatever?
Not a lot.
He
was fucking $12.
Yeah, but so were we.
Correct, but like we play all the time, and he was just coasting when he already knew he had his Worlds ticket.
I mean, he got second and top 8 at a regional. It's like pretty good.
Sure.
Yeah,
he was 8-1. I was his only loss.
Yeah. Yeah, you were a lot of people's only loss. Hey, how many 3 character decks did you guys play? I played 0.
0.
By Vader Guard. I played against 3 characters when I had to play against fucking Cuenca in the mirror. Mm. Then I played against 4 against Nick Obi. Then I lost to B7 and beat Thrawn 1000. So yeah, just those 2 times I played 3 or higher, because then it was the 3 rounds after I think was just straight up Yoda Qui-Gon, Obi Maz, and then Thrawn 1000 again.
Yeah, I played against 0.
Yeah,
that was wild. I think like someone just asked me in the Loops Discord, like, would also be curious to know if you knew before Worlds what was going to be there, would you have brought something different? And if like I knew I was going to face 0 3 character decks, then no, I definitely wouldn't have brought anything different.
I definitely would have took Force Wave out of my deck.
All right, so I guess we recapped Worlds pretty substantially, but do you guys have like a best and worst moment from Worlds? Like just great moment, worst moment, terrible moment, etc.
My best moment. My best moment was when Jedi Geeko brought me that banana milkshake.
Did that actually happen?
Day one Day one B Swiss started. Yes, she brought it to me.
Clutch.
I fucking powered it down outside because you couldn't bring fucking food or drink inside. She didn't smuggle it, and I understand. And then I 4-0'd the shit out of people, and then we went to Burger King. The worst moment was coming back from fucking Burger King where they told us 305, and 305 meant, oh, like 257, we're gonna put up the round, and 305 is when you fucking start rolling dice, jackass.
Hold on, but like you're skipping over like the literal best moment from Worlds, which happened at the Burger King.
So I'm so sad that I missed this. You
Dude,
didn't even tell me this happened.
I'm so sad. Like honestly, those days were such a freaking whirlwind. So we went to Burger King and Nick found Cuenca found a regionals top 8 mat in the street, and so we're at Burger King and he's asking everyone, "Do you play Destiny? I found this mat. Is it yours?" So Rick and Todd from KOR, who like we've had sort of a contentious relationship with. I actually had never met Rick or Todd. I don't have anything against them. And like from what I've heard about them, like they started their own community. Like Todd opened a shop to like, you know, bolster the Destiny community there. So like they seem like nice guys. They shook my hand on Sunday and said, "Great job." Like Cuenca stops them in the Burger King and was like, "Hey, do you guys play Destiny?" And they're looking at each other like they clearly know who we are. And like me and Joe obviously know who they are, but Cuenca is just so fucking aloof that he knows nothing about anything. He kept talking about how he can't believe, he kept harping on how he thought Game Slayer, New Brainer, was a lot better looking than he thought he'd be. Like Cuenca talked about that like 6 or 7 times. Anyway, so he asks Rick and Todd from like, you know, the most downloaded Destiny podcast on earth, "Do you play Destiny?" And they looked at each other like, what the fuck is happening? And I had to tell them that he was not trolling. He's just actually that ignorant. He's just actually that unaware of the world.
Well, their response after they looked at each other like, "Is this fucking serious?" was a little bit.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, okay, yeah. Like they were gonna play along, I guess. It's just like Nick is so freaking earnest.
Yeah, and we were like, you were like, no. He really doesn't know, man. Like he just doesn't know who you guys are.
He has no idea. Oh my god, yeah, that was the best. So yeah, I got blown out by that lunch break too because Reflex made me go to Buffalo Wild Wings and sit down and have like
Listen,
a candlelit dinner.
Made you is a strong word. That beer was the best thing that happened to you.
We'll have plenty of time. So much time.
We did, man. We sat down and we had like a solid 3 minutes to catch my breath. Great.
Yeah, sweet. You have a best moment, Andrew?
My favorite moment was definitely Outrun coming up clutch, like teammate of the weekend on right before top 4 started. You know what?
Does Ed know? We have to tell Ed.
I don't know if he knows.
Okay. So I was getting a lot of flack for the headphones on the Twitch chat. So the FFG Marshal, or it wasn't Jeremy, but it was like someone else came over to me and was like, "Hey, I need to look at your phone and see all the apps you're running." And I didn't understand why, because it didn't register to me that they were that they thought I wanted to listen to that throughout the entirety of the game, which like I guess some people had headphones on during matches, but I didn't, and like whatever. So we look at deck lists, and then as soon as we're done looking at deck lists, Edwin is like, "I'm gonna leave. Like I'm gonna go to the bathroom." And I was like, "Judge, like that's allowed." He like, "I'm not allowed to chat. Like I'm not allowed. I have to have my phone searched, but this guy gets to go to the bathroom." And so I turned out to like Outrun was just the first face I saw, and I was just like, "Yo, go follow that guy." And so he just went to the bathroom with Edwin
without hesitation.
Yeah, he's just like, "I'm on it." You know what though? That's why I love fucking Outrun, man. Like that's exactly how I would be. You need something, I got you. Like you want something dirty done, let's go. I'm ready. So that yeah, good call. That was a good moment. Any totally shitty moments? My shitty moment I don't really want to talk about is just being like yelled at in the lunchroom when I was having a Guinness and a sandwich. Just having that hope.
I mean, either completely punting and destroying everyone's fantasy team in Destiny.
Yeah, that's gotta feel bad. You let a lot of people down. You're probably the most hated person in Star Wars Destiny somehow.
17 people exactly, and that's not even close to true, by the way. Twitch chat says otherwise. But
I'm trying to pass that off a little bit.
Exactly, 17 people were let down hard, and then choking super hard on day 2 of X-Wing. Yeah, those are definitely my worst moments.
Sad times.
Joey,
What?
you
I
gonna
already
bet?
answered the question.
You gave your worst moment?
Yeah. It was the fucking bullshit where FFG said 305.
Oh, okay.
That's when dice were being fucking rolled instead of
Yeah,
305.
you're right. I don't want to talk about this
We're gonna
again.
start
Good call.
a couple
Good
minutes
call.
later.
Good call. Good call. I also like, maybe this is corny, but like, I think, I was happy to finally meet Jedi Geek Girl. We talk all the time. I was happy to meet like Smurl. We talk all the time. We talked a lot about Mill leading up to the event, and just like so many loopers, finally putting faces to names. Like we kind of hit on, but just want to reiterate that was pretty dope.
And don't forget, we have to thank Mended for those cool boxes.
Oh my God, Mended's boxes. They're so good. The only thing I've run into is that I wanted to use it as my draft thing, and it doesn't hold like my extra sleeves, so I got to figure something out. But they're so well designed. They hold everything. We'll take some pictures. But yeah, Mended and his boys, they 3D printed these boxes, and they gave us like some customized ones, and they're pretty awesome. We'll definitely post pictures.
37 hours to print, baby.
37 hours, yeah, it's crazy.
Right.
In general, just everyone in the FFG games is super generous. Like the X-Wing players, like the crazy X-Wing swag I got, especially from the Icelandic dudes, were just like out of control how generous people are. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, you want to tell the story about how you just snapped a movement template and then like at the end of the game?
It was actually at the beginning of the game. The guy, I don't know if like too many people play X-Wing, but this guy is an Icelandic podcaster, and he gave me this baggie like full of goodies, 2 of which were movement templates, 1 straight and a 2 straight. And I was like, this is the most generous thing I've ever seen. Like, oh my God. And I just have like generic acrylics that I bought. And so I just picked it up and I looked at him and I snapped it in half and I threw it over my back. And he thought I was a crazy person. Like he knew, he saw into the Mind Palace. I tried to keep people out of my.
Snapped it?
I literally broke my movement template in half. Threw
The
it.
old one. Okay,
yeah,
got
the
you.
old. Oh yeah, yeah. I must tell that story.
I thought it was the new one, the
'Cause
first time I
everyone
told the story also.
Fuck your movement template, you Icelandic
that
bastard.
was like the first part. I was like,
No,
what
I
happened?
took my generic one and broke it in half in front of him, just to, like, appear to be a crazy person. I had so much fun playing X-Wing, man. Like every single match, I was just like, hey, I'm just trying to have fun. Like I'm playing hard, but like I really just want to just have a fun match. And for the most part, everyone agreed. All right, let's talk about coverage for a second. The FFG coverage was pretty lacking. I know I watched my one match on stream, and like those guys, they didn't fully grasp what was going on. I don't know if they were like trying to watch the Twitch chat and feed off of that and sort of like trust that the people watching knew what was going on. But there were definitely some moments, specifically when they were like, oh man, I bet Mike wishes he cast that second chance, after already stating that I drew it off of the battlefield claim. It was pretty tilting, and they kept thinking that I was gonna like play weapons from my hand to overwrite, and then like play the same one from the discard pile, and didn't really understand the match, how I needed to keep grays in my hand, things like that. So I thought that was kind of a bummer, but I didn't watch too much, so I can't say all that much. But I did want to also say that the chance cube really stepped up. I was hesitant to think that was going to go well when I looked at it, because they were just like filming with a camera phone. But yeah, it was sweet. I think it gave a lot of people insight into Worlds. I thought a lot more people enjoyed it than, I think I asked the question the week before, does anyone care? And I think people did.
Yeah, good.
No, that was it.
Yeah, Chance Cube was great. I definitely have rewatched some of it, and the quality of it was great. I mean, I really wish they could have commentary. Although I think that was an FFG thing, not a Chance Cube thing. I know they requested. But it's definitely a common complaint for FFG streams that the commentary is pretty lackluster. I think they just in general lack people that have high level knowledge of each of their games across all of the games, not just Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Matt did a solid job like hosting the stream, and like tried his best for sure. But I think they didn't really give him too much help outside of that. And there was just a lot of basic rules that were missed, and then just like not understanding high level play, which is tough to have like in the top cut of your world championship. You want some decent analysis, which I think was definitely lacking.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have said in the Discords and just the Facebooks that like it wouldn't be hard to get good players who didn't make the top 8 or the top 4 or whatever to like step in and do it. Get them not like trained, but like aware of what the parameters are. Like you gotta call people by the correct names or whatever. You know, cut the slang.
And not
Don't.
swear at them.
Yeah, things like that. And I think like they could probably find people to do it. There's so many podcasters.
I don't know if I qualify as a good player anymore, but I have shoutcasting experience. Like I would have loved to jump back there and comment.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we probably should, leading up to maybe some of these events, if we can like get our streaming idea jump off this summer and like maybe do it at Gen Con, it'll be like a nice audition tape for next year, which could be cool. You know,
yeah, that sounds
assuming
great.
we don't make it. All right. So we had our Loops dinner, which also caught a lot of flack because Joe posted some drama the week before Worlds about how like ours was scheduled for the against Sugi's, and like Sugi took it pretty personally. And I thought there was going to be a lot more beef with Sugi because of it. But just in case people haven't heard, because I don't know the last time we podcasted, but that like our Loops dinner was like a casual come and go thing, and we wanted people to go to the KOR thing. You know, a lot of our members like KOR and participate in that Discord, and we don't want people to like choose sides. It's ridiculous. So, you know, ours was like a come and go. Here's some apps, get drinks, hang out, meet people that you've been chatting with, and then like, you know, go to the KOR thing. And I think for the most part, it was hugely successful. Some people came early, some people came late, some people stayed the whole time. It was exactly what I wanted it to be. And the food was good, and Joe got to smuggle out peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, which is like even better.
Oh no, they're not gonna let us come back next year.
I know.
Let them hear
Rosemary
this.
Hall was lit though. Like the food was very, very good. I'm glad we didn't run out. And fuck you, Drew, for fucking breaking glass. I don't think we got charged for it. I'd actually have to look at the receipt. But someone
Is your
broke
glass
shit.
broken? Jesus.
Yeah, the Arrowbrook Gaming guys got a little loose and dropped a
Oh,
glass on the
man.
ground. I guess it like bounced a few times, and they were like, "Oh my god, it didn't break," and then it broke, and they were.
I think I forget who it was. I think it was Dr. Bear that was like, dude, it dropped like 5 times. It was like boing. It's like, oh, it's right in front of me. Nope, boing. Still good. Boing.
picture
Okay,
fucking
now it shatters.
Dr. Bear chasing a glass around the room.
Oh my god.
The only bad thing about it was that because we got so much food, they had to put it on the pool tables, and like if there was one game I was gonna play, it was gonna be pool.
Wait, were there pool tables under there?
The food,
Yeah.
the food was on the pool tables. Is tragic.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I really enjoy pool.
That night was definitely a highlight though. I wish we could have gotten there a little earlier. We got because we were playing X-Wing.
X-Wing wouldn't even end. I didn't even let you stay for standings. I was like, get the fuck
know.
out of here. We know where you are.
I know, right? We ended way earlier than we did last year because there's one less round.
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah, just meeting people. I just like walked up to all the tables and just said, "Hey, I'm Reflex. What are your names?"
I know. They really got to let us get like I
Name
love
tags.
that we had the Looper badges, but next year we should get stickers that have people's Discord names
Someone
on
was
there.
supposed to bring it in a Sharpie, and I couldn't remember who.
Yeah, but fuck Sharpies. Like, let's do it real. Let's like make real stickers.
Yeah, I agree. I think that'd be great next time.
Like I thought that we like being the only people who had badge flags was sick. It was exactly
was.
the effect I wanted. Was that we were the only ones doing it. That's why I kind of like waited to even announce it, because I thought that they came out so great. And I'm pumped that I bought so many that we can use them for Gen Con and Nova and all those things.
Nice.
I don't think we have that many.
I bought 250.
Okay. Well, you told me you had a pack of 100, so I didn't realize you had a stack sitting at home.
Yeah, I didn't bring them all. I didn't, because I figured that Cuenca would lose some.
Didn't need 'em. Yeah, it's fine.
Is this just the Cuenca Shots Fired podcast?
Dude,
Nah, it's fucking Cuenca.
we honestly didn't know if Cuenca was going to show up for day one. He was like not awake. We were like, we're going to breakfast. We're going to get out of here.
I know. I was there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You came over in the morning. It's like, yeah, it's fucking harrowing. Living with Cuenca has got to be touch and go. I would love to like pick his fiance's brain for like an hour. Just like get drinks with her and really find out like what the fuck his life is like. And he's such a mystery too, because we talk about him all the time. He's like that character on My So-Called Life. Oh my god, I'm dating myself. That there was this show back in the 90s, and they always talked about a character, but they were literally never on the show. And that's the Cuenca.
That's him.
Yeah. All right. So meta, is the meta a surprise? We had shit. I knew it earlier. How many different decks? 12 different decks in the top 16. There were only 4 repeats.
Well, because there were 2 Aylas, there were 3
2
Sabines,
extra Sabines. Yeah, I think 12 sounds correct.
Yeah.
there were 2 B7s. And I think we're counting 12 because we're counting each of the vehicle decks separately because they were all different.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 2 Sabines, 1 Ayla, and
There's
1
3
V7
Sabines.
Three
as the-
Sabines.
No, as the extras.
Oh,
Oh,
gotcha.
okay,
Yeah.
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 So,
Yeah. So I think 12 different decks.
So surprised, not surprised, shocked,
not
appalled.
surprised.
No, you thought it was gonna be
Been
pretty
saying for a while, the
diverse.
line is pretty open.
Yeah.
Ezra, the most played character in the top 16. Thoughts? 6 different
That
decks.
one's more
6 different decks used them. 10 different Ezra dice in the top 16.
I'd say a little surprising, but not like, blow my mind shocking.
Is Sabine Ezra being the most represented deck in the top 16 crazy? I guess it ties with
Yes.
vehicles, so. But like you said, 3 different kinds of vehicles. There was no prototypical vehicles.
But each one had an Ezra.
Each one had an Ezra, yeah. Yeah, just like, everyone was worried about Ayla. I think Tiny did his prediction Ayla will win Worlds, maybe. Like he did last year, the Boundless will win Worlds. I guess you can't win them all.
My prediction of Mallsaber would win is fucking true.
You said that? When?
Oh man.
Like 3 podcasts.
Yeah, we
ago.
did this. I said running interference would win. Damn it, Mike.
What did I say?
I think you comped out and said like blue would win.
That sounds like me.
Trying to call it like ancient lightsaber. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Ancient lightsaber force solution. Yeah, that sounds like me. Hey, good call, Maul Saber. Was that before the nerf?
Yeah, way
Wrecked.
before the
Wrecked.
nerf. After the nerf, I was like, man.
Super.
Yeah, 'cause I think my call was running interference.
Damn it. The closeness.
So
Calling
close.
the broken cards that got nerfs.
Yeah, right.
Yay, Ed.
What?
I mean, I think the meta was pretty much as expected. I don't think it was anything crazy. I think Sabine Ezra being the most popular deck in the top 16 is a little surprising.
Yeah.
But I mean, we were on it, so can't be that shocking.
Well, it was 2 of the Sabine Ezras were 7 and 2, so that seemed actually no, I lied. Wait. No, that's correct. Yeah,
Biggie was 7-2.
Mhm.
Yeah, Biggie was 7-2 and so was Jack.
Okay.
So like at 7 and 2, it's kind of like a gut shot of what's going on. So like you just
Yeah,
really have no
anything's
idea.
gonna sneak in, especially with the stupid weird breakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, just interesting. I think it took a lot of people by surprise. I think people like legitimately, if there's a deck people hate, it's Sabine Ezra. Yeah, I just thought it was pretty interesting, and like Stairs coming in second, like that's so crazy to me. Like just picking that deck up a couple days before the regional and doing well with it, and that it has stayed and become a mainstay and like a meta contender is just shocking to me because it was just so casually thrown together based off my R2P2 thoughts. Yeah, I don't know. I just find it crazy.
You made correct thoughts. You felt that stuff was going to be good, and it was.
Yeah, I think it's just like a consistently good archetype that like if players like playing that style, like a good player is gonna do well with it.
Well,
Yeah, I
team
like
deck builder.
I like that it's like cemented itself as like the supreme blue hero deck. Out of all the options, like that one definitely floated to the top.
Man, there was like no Qui-Gons.
Oh no, there were Qui-Gon
Yeah,
players,
there were
but the problem is Qui-Gon is much weaker than people ever knew.
Yeah.
So like it's cool when you do double Shotos, but when you don't, like what the fuck are you doing? And the aggro decks are very good at just going Qui-Gon's dead, the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
I just don't remember. I literally didn't see one all weekend.
I played against one.
I played against one too.
I played against one on day 2. It was Jeff. It was a pair down, but it was still annoying.
Yeah, I mean the deck is, the deck's fine. I think like Ray Ayla struggles against it, but yeah, I think what the one part of the meta we did underestimate is the amount of pure aggro that was going to be there, like the uptick in Mother Aura and like Boba Phasma, and I think like we thought Boba 7th would be there, and it was, but it was piloted by good players who did well with it, which was kind of cool.
Also happened to be loopers.
And Yeti.
Oh yeah. Well, I just meant top cut. Poor Yeti.
Yeah, I
Or
mean, yeah,
Jin.
Yeti did well. So before we move on from Worlds, because I think the last thing we're going to talk about before we fire shots is the Gen Con prizes. But like, you brought up an awesome point earlier where like you knew the stairs matchup was bad because we tested it and we told you it was, and like you were able to believe that. And like even though I had spent weeks and weeks working on Mill, like I had been talking with Andrew the whole time. He's been working on Sabine. He played a bunch of Sabine. We tried Sabine Yoda. We played games against each other. He played them locally because he lives in this like magical fantasy land where people play Destiny 7 days a week. It's like
Orlando.
I've literally played six times like in real life, like competitively all year, like since Gen Con. So like just the benefit of having a team of good players you can trust is so awesome. And we've talked about it before. Like Joe wrote that awesome article. It's where we first started like really pushing the what's that Street Fighter book that we always talk about that I'm like
Sirloin?
Sirloin's you know, introducing the scrub and that and all, like his whole book, just like putting together a team. Oh yeah, and like sorry. This goes back to that listener episode of the Carolina Crates podcast that I linked. All about forming a team, building a team. I think that you saw that pay off in spades this past weekend. Destiny Council put everyone into day 2. Artificery had, I don't think their whole team into day 2 because I think like Lassie and maybe Flaccid and Dostin make it, but like
everyone except for one person made it into day 2.
Flaccid made it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Everyone except for one, because they took the team photo, and then Yeti was like, okay, now only the people that made day 2. And this one person was like, fuck you guys. And then he was like, oh, I didn't realize you were the only person that didn't make it.
Yeah, it was Lassie.
Brutal.
Yeah, how did Lassie get qualified?
Via the loops on my +1 ticket.
Joe gave Lassie his ticket, and then he let you down. He lost with that ticket.
He earned his ticket. And then, yes, he let us down.
Anyway, not only that, but those guys did well. Like, you know, they like most of them went 5-1 on day 1. So they did really, really well. So yeah, so the point I'm trying to make is like form a team, trust each other, like team with people you can trust. It didn't scare me that I hadn't gotten a bunch of games with Sabine Ezra because I had talked to Andrew a ton about it, and I'd been playing it since TTS League season fucking 3. When was that? It was just so important to be able to just like have your feedback and say like, oh, Andrew wants to play in Tangle, like I'm in. I'm playing in Tangle, and it being great. So
Only
shit like
listen
that.
to you on Hasty.
Yeah, I knew something was up with Scavenge. It just didn't feel right, and I probably didn't do a good job of explaining it. But man, there was so much aggro, that it really paid off. You know, I'm pulling a Joe, but for those who don't know, we played one card different. Andrew played Scavenge, and I played a second Hasty.
The second Hasty was correct.
Yeah, it was good.
He did the Joe. Bobo did the Joe.
I did a Joe. I pulled a Joe. God
Rest
damn
of the
it.
team didn't follow.
If you're rubbing off on me, god damn.
Oh no.
Well, I won't be rubbing off on you until you start picking up random fucking piles like a week before. You're like, I'm playing this.
Yeah, I definitely won't be doing that. That is not my style.
I'm like, I'm gonna play Wookiee Yoda fucking Padawan. People are like, what are you smoking? Shh, it's great.
You convinced someone to play it.
I did. Grandpa Jake, he got his top 32 Matt playing Pew Pew.
That's
Hey, man.
insane.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on the meta?
It's all over the fucking place.
Yeah, 2 people like Sunday night were like, what would you play in Store Champs? I was like, fuck you. You know what, man? Fuck you, dude.
You know what?
You know what, man?
I'm playing my vehicles deck after I figure out how to fucking beat Ray Ayla. I'm gonna put fucking Fortuitous Strike in there, and be like, hey, guess what? Reroll my 7 dice. And be like, boom, take 6. Bitch.
Sure.
What planet are you on, man? Jesus Christ. You're turning into Cuenca.
Rebel Assault. Rebel Assault.
Soon as we're gonna have to like get Blake and his family to move over here just so we can have some sanity.
Dude, I like pushed for it hard.
Bagels.
It's not happening.
Bagels, bro. I guess one of the other guys were like, dude, there's bagels in Australia, just not in fucking Western Australia. Like, because Blake lives in Perth. It's just like East Bumfuck, West Bumfuck,
So
Australia.
we had like a serious Australia geography lesson Sunday night,
So
and
did
it
you
is in
learn-
the middle of
Yeah,
nowhere.
did you learn that Perth is like the only thing with 10,000 miles of fucking outback surrounding it?
Yep.
Yeah. So Gen Con prizes came out, and just like last year, they are super fucking elite. Oh, do you still have them up? Oh, you linked them, right? That
Oh, yeah, they're in the
Afra isn't a
chat.
spot gloss, right?
No, it's a participation. I think the Kylo and Ray are.
Yeah, they're. I think they're supposed to be one spot gloss. They're double sided.
Oh, it's spot glossed
Yes.
and double sided.
Yes.
I will say this: I am not into promos, but I will. If I don't make top 64, I will pay cash money for that Ray card, whatever it is. I'll pay.
I really wish they weren't double-sided. That just seems lazy, but
I guess it just like whatever. It saves them money, right? They're so cheap
guess.
and like corner cutting, and I don't know, like
they do look sick though.
The fire thing there is that was first and second place, and that was entirely unplanned.
That's
oh
true.
yeah, that's true. That's pretty sick. Yeah, I've just been dying for a Ray 2 promo, and that's like if there's gonna be one, that one's pretty sick. So I'll take it. As FFG also loves to do, they are just reprinting the same tokens in different colors. The day 2 prize is 6 resource tokens. They're silver border with black in the middle. Looks like the exact opposite of the quarter 1, like the complementary stylings. So that's kind of tilting. Like, you know, they were onto something with the power actions at Worlds, even though those power actions are they were kind of shitty. But man, it's frustrating to just get the same tokens printed over and over, right? Like, am I the only one who thinks that?
No, I mean I have like a million different sets of damage tokens, and I'm never using anything but my Gen Con. So like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with all the rest of these.
Yeah.
Yep. I was cracking like the quarter tokens for top 16. I like or day 2. I went through. I grabbed my like Q1 resource tokens and the Q2 like 1 damages and then the shields, and then I realized I didn't have the Q4 3 damage ones because my meta died. I was like, and then I was halfway towards the just cracking open the regional 3s, just taking the 3s but leaving the 1s.
Yeah, those regional ones are great. I used them all weekend and loved them. They're sweet.
Except people still can't fucking read
You're a
them on
terrible
stream.
person.
Yeah, I know. I should use the Droideka shields. I regret not doing that.
Maybe you wouldn't have binned your Sabine if you could read your fucking damage.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
I like rewatched it a bunch of times just hoping my math was off, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons. That's like one of the many reasons I'm afraid to watch that match. I just like can't face my own fucking stupidity. And then like the top, the top 8 Matt is an Afra Matt, and I guess like everyone just like loves Dr. Afra, so that's kind of cool. I mean, Matt,
it's pretty sick art.
It is
like,
dope
it
art.
Looks really cool.
It's really dope art. It's just her card art though, right? I mean the background's obviously like insane. There's like Lexu running around in the background, which is pretty cool.
Nexu.
In my mind, it was a BB-8 Afromat.
How do you know what Nexu are?
Imperial Assault.
Oh, no shit.
Or unit Imperial Assault.
No, I just know all the creatures in Star Wars, sadly.
Yeah, I don't.
The Reek, the Acklay, and the Nexu are the 3 creatures from Geonosis in Star Wars Episode 2.
Yeah, in my mind, that's a BB-8.
Oh, that's right. It is Episode 2. Okay. Yeah, it is just her art, by the way.
Yeah, so it's just her art with like a dope background, and then like they gave out binders, like card binders, at Worlds just for participation, and then they're like it looks like similar top 32 binders for the Continental Championship. So last year I thought Gen Con definitely had the best prizes, and it looks like these prizes are pretty sick.
Yeah, I think they generally do a pretty good job with like the deck boxes they had were really nice. And then I haven't really dug into my binders from Worlds, but they look pretty high quality. So I think those kind of stuff they generally do a good job with.
Yeah, I know that like last year, like the thing that put me over the top about Gen Con were the X-Wing templates just being like absolutely insane, the R2D2 templates, and they brought it back.
Seen the new ones?
Yeah, they're BB-8.
BB-8.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, it's no R2D2, but it's pretty legit.
Yeah. Don't talk to me about RTD templates. I'm still salty.
Yeah, I understand. Fucking cheaters, the worst. Fuck those guys.
Yeah.
All right. So, should we fire any shots?
That's on you guys, man. Like, I ain't got no shots to fire.
You were the one telling me to drop bombs last night.
Joe just likes to stir it up, I think.
Yeah, he just wants us to do all the dirty work. I understand.
I have a vlog. I fire my own shots. What do you want from me?
God. I don't have too many shots to fire. I guess I'm just, all the Twitch trolls that I've been letting sort of like affect my life over the last 3 days. I think like I should just fucking internally tell them to get fucked. Um,
Haterade.
yeah, it really is. Like, I'm gonna go over this. I guess people won't see because like the loopers will know because I'll talk about the video when I do my recap. It's just like everything I'm thinking about when I take those like that 1 minute to like think about how to keep Sabine alive or like how bad this is gonna be or if I even have a chance to win. Like that 1 minute or 90 seconds it takes to go through that is like 75% of my entire game. That if Sabine dies, I'm just almost always gonna lose. And so like yeah, that takes a little bit more time. And I think I think where my disconnect is like the people calling me a staller for that game, or even like maybe even Andrew, right, who called me like said nice stall after the game, is that they're not necessarily trying to say like you cheated, like because they think it's like a fine strategical tactic. But I guess what bothers me the most is like I just wasn't even trying to do that, and I think like Joe, you would totally say that you were playing not at your fastest if you weren't playing at your fastest, right?
I will purposefully sit across from Mill and take like an extra 5 seconds per action.
Yeah, and I think like that's not even blasphemous, right, to say or do that. And I don't know why I'm letting it bother me because I know in my heart that I didn't do that shit. So I don't know. I'm just letting it. I don't know why. I guess just because I try and be a good person, but it's not worth it because
I don't know. Well, like it's always an interesting thing too because you have those bullshit moments. So you're like, okay, I reroll, and they're like they tank for a bit. It's like 10, maybe 15 seconds, and then they're like pass, and like the worst part is because like you'll filp somebody, or I did it all the fucking time. I filped, and then this motherfucker is sitting there waiting
to
it's
show
like,
your hand.
pass, and I'm like, dude, I know your fucking hand. Claim like you have a force wave, and like I don't know something else you can't cast. I'm like I'm gonna take the rest of my actions now. Like I did it one time at Worlds. I was like, you have this and this in your hand. I've already seen it. I'm gonna do all my actions. And tell me if you want to stop me somewhere. Like it was just like it was like, dude, you're just wasting time. And allegedly, you can actually call for that because at that point, you'd actually know they're stalling and that there's no actual decision to make. Like if they have an agent there and they want to heal at some point, it's like okay, but it's all relevant. Like this amount of time. So like, sure, bullshitting is great from like a poker perspective, and you're like, all right, well, I don't want to let them know I don't have anything, but like you sometimes cause your own doom by like wasting too much time trying to do this tank bullshit, especially if someone's got that soul read on you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I have a couple things to say on this. So slow pay is and will always be the toughest thing to police in a game because it's subjective. Like there's never going to be like the average turn should take a minute, and like we can clock on that and like say over unders on that. We're never going to have chess clocks in the game, so like everyone can stop talking about that. Like it's just not going to happen.
I would love a chess block.
I know, but like there are some turns that are going to take longer than average, and they should, and that's okay. And there's going to be some turns that take less than average, and they should, and that's okay. But like, if you're playing a game and your opponent doesn't say anything to you ever, and there's a judge watching, and they say nothing to you ever, like you should never feel bad about that. Like it's also on your opponent's responsibility if he feels that you're playing slowly for him to say something and to try to speed the game up.
Yeah.
So like I had a contentious game in my day one where my opponent was playing fairly slow, and I called a judge and I said, hey, his actions are taking longer than they should, and he sped up. And after like 2 more actions, I told the judge we're good here. Like the problem's been solved. And afterwards we talked about it. The guy was cool. We resolved any issues we had, and like we were good. We left on good terms. He was like, I wasn't familiar with the deck, so I just took a little extra time to think about stuff. And he admitted like he was probably playing too slow. And he said that because I said something, the rest of his games he sped up and he had better games because of it. So like you have to say something for it to be a problem. If you say something and the guy keeps playing slow, then that guy has a problem. But like if you don't say anything, then it'll never get fixed and it'll never be addressed.
Yeah, I 1,000,000,000% agree. And like and I know people have asked me, not in Destiny necessarily, but like over the course of my career in Magic or whatever, people ask like, hey, we need to make our actions faster. And I don't know, like I was just like the least salty person all weekend. Like high-five my opponents. Even like Ed, you know, having a good time with Ed as he's beating me in the semifinals. Had that ruling go against me in top 16. Still had a great conversation with Gil. Even like the worst part about the Andrew match is that the stream cut out because I sat there and made sure that we were good before I walked away. Even though the judge kept telling me to walk away, even though I wasn't being aggressive, I think I just like sound aggressive. But it's hard, like, you know, shaking someone's hand because you think the game's over and then, you know, daggering you. But yeah, I'm with you. Just say something. If he just said something, you know, I would have sped up or I would have been aware of it. If he said something, we probably both would have looked at the clock at some point. But he didn't.
Yeah, because, anyways, there's no reason to argue about it.
Yeah, for sure. So, Joe, you're not going to fire any shots? It's just FFG for ruining your lunch? No balls.
There's a lot of shit they need to fix in fucking general, but, like, that rushed game thing does not feel great. Because, like, you listen to your music.
Oh, my God.
No, fuck that.
No, but we talked about this on the vlog.
Yeah. Like, you listen to your music before you get into, like, your mood. And for me, I'm, like, I want to just chill. Like, I don't want to rush for anything. I want to casually go find my table that I can see the clock at from that side. Pretty much beat my opponent there so I can have that spot. And, like, set up, prepare. And instead it was just like, all right, you guys can go. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm ripping shit out of my bag, throwing my deck down. Like, I'm not even shuffling adequately. And it's like presenting, and then I'm like rushing into my dice, and it's shit's a fucking mess. And like I go into the game like not in a sane state of mind. I lost, but I wouldn't blame it on that. But like it just doesn't feel good overall.
Yeah, because the same thing. I mean, like I said, the same thing happened to us when we came back from lunch the previous day, and I didn't get to listen to my music, but I won because I'm better.
Yep, better loop.
I mean, I won my game out of lunch too, but it had more to do with the beer than anything else.
The beer.
I'll tell you, we just rolled dice.
Having a Guinness in the middle of a day, perfect, man. 140 calories, bang, nice and light.
How many guys told both of you guys and like they grumbled Sabine doing Sabine things?
Oh, many. And it didn't help that like
I didn't have any, but I lost 3 games, so
it didn't help that like Dr. Bear also said it like when he was watching my games.
Oh my god!
Shout out to Bear.
To be fair, the last couple games Sabine did do Sabine things.
Oh, for sure.
8, 11. It's like, oh shit.
The one that they got on like my Sabine Yoda match that's like on stream. It happens right before the round 9 match. Just like my Sabine was at 2 health. I couldn't find my last second chance. I had to, and he had 6 health. He had 6 damage and a second chance. And my Sabine killed his. It just felt so fucking good. Like, just seeing that 11 was so good. But better be lucky than good. All right.
I have a shot. Hold on.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I thought you already fired your
Are we
shots.
doing, do you want general closing after the shots?
Yeah, fire your shot. Load it up.
All right, so cheaters fucking suck.
Mm-hmm.
And since FFG is not going to... I'm not going to name any names. People know who we're talking about. If FFG is not going to do anything about them, we as a community need to do something about them. And I don't mean threatening violence. That's not cool ever. Just be clear. I don't condone that whatsoever. Violence is never cool at a gaming event. We're playing fucking card games. But people who are known to cheat and people that skirt around the rules, play sloppy, however you want to phrase it, they cost extra resources. They cost mental resources for their opponents, which is not cool. They also cost extra resources from the judges. Like, we had 2 to 3 judges on staff all weekend. If a judge has to go and watch someone's game, that's half to a third of the judging staff for one game in 50 games. Mm-hmm. So like people like that cause extra strain on an already stressful event for both their opponents, the staff, whoever, should not be allowed to play the game. So I'm putting an official bounty out there for any future big events. If you catch a video evidence of someone cheating in the game, I should have been prepared. I was not ready for this. This is a last minute shot. I will find some prize that will make it worth your while to come forward with that evidence.
All right, sweet. I'll back that. I'll double down on that.
Because like this is a great community and a great game, and I want it to stay that way. And cheaters fucking suck, and let's get them out of our game.
Can I turn in Bobo for Stalin?
Video evidence. Oh my god.
Do it, the stream. Like,
You'll have to donate those prizes to the Chance Cubes GoFundMe.
nah.
Wrecked.
So I do have one thing.
Oh
Bobo,
god. Yeah.
I top 4 Gen Con. Did you top 4 Gen Con?
I did come in. I did come in top 4 at Gen Con. Andrew, did you come in top 4 at Gen Con?
I did.
Oh, sorry. Well, you gave yourself your own.
No. The answer is obviously no. Hey, guys. Did you win a regional at 3 different games this year? Wait. How many regional trophies do you have between the two of you?
How many creator cards do you have between
Two?
the two of you?
2? Wait. Was the answer 2? By the way, one, right?
Are we just gonna keep measuring our dicks? Because we could do this all. We could do this all day.
I didn't go there first.
Well, he also ruined it by asking himself.
He went there back during the regional.
He did.
Okay, I think that's enough. And Jay Cuenca, have you participated in a podcast in 2018? All right, that's enough shots fired. Please look for me next week on Discard to Reroll. And any other parting words from either of you gentlemen? You fine gentlemen?
Yeah, I have one closing thought. That's positive. So meeting and talking to Jeremy this weekend was really cool. I think that guy has done nothing but positive things for our game. So super thank you goes out to Lucas for creating the game. But what Jeremy's done since he's left has been nothing short of phenomenal, I think. He was great to interact with all weekend, even giving us like a shout out saying he listened to the podcast.
I know.
Which I don't know why he does, but
I almost fell over. Like I legitimately swooned when he said that. I could not believe it.
I promise this isn't just because he listens, but it was a genuine positive experience meeting and talking to him.
Yeah, it took him a little while.
It was super cool.
It took him a little while to come out of his shell to talk to me, but man, at the end of Sunday night, man, he was super cool. He was like, I can't believe you went 13-0. Like you won 13 games in a row. I still don't think I believe that. It doesn't feel like I did anything great. It just felt like things just, kept going my way. But he was just super cool that he was willing to recognize that and like give me props. It was cool because, I didn't think he knew who I was, and he made it clear that he knew who I was, which was sweet.
Yeah, I think he genuinely appreciates like the content creators that go out there and put a lot of effort into the game, which is nice to see.
You also mentioned that he was super competitive, right? Like he played Netrunner or something.
Yeah, I think he's won something crazy like 5 world championships across multiple games. So
yeah,
I don't know.
So I like that's cool that we have like an appeal to that kind of player and that he's that kind of player. I'd love to pick his brain more. It just goes to like, wishing that we spent more time there. And I think like we were talking about this before. We were waiting for Joe to reboot his computer, but that like Gen Con could end up being a blessing that Destiny's Thursday, Friday, because it could just mean that we get to hang out Friday and Saturday and all day Saturday and Saturday night with people that we want to hang out with, which is pretty sweet.
Agreed.
All right, we should call it because it drives me crazy that we're over an hour. Joe, you got anything left? Or are you ready for bed?
Nope. I've been ready for bed a long time ago. I don't like that Thursday and Fridays Gen Con though, because like that means I have to come in on Wednesday.
No, I know. I'm just saying like in terms of like the community and actually spending time with people, I think that'll be a blessing. Also, can you please tomorrow morning ban all the white named people from the channel?
Yeah,
because I don't know how to do it.
No worries, got you.
All right, because Matt Kuzno's still in here and he specifically left. There's a couple white names.
No, he went
Just
from
Discord
$3
admin at the end of the podcast.
Yeah, Discord admin.
He went from $3 to $1.
Yeah, $1 doesn't get you in the channel, bro. He can't. He still has @everyone powers.
Oh my god.
No, he can't even write. I think in general. General's locked up. He can everyone in shit channels.
All right.
But all right, deuces.
Great radio. I'll cut all this. All right, so that's it for the Hyperloops. For NJ Cuenca and Andrew Cox, Reflex, Honestly Sarcastic, Joe Cologne, 4th place at Worlds. This is BobbySapphire.
Don't forget Blake, aka Blake.
Oh my God, Blake's Moody, our Australian buddy. I hope wherever you are right now, you're eating a bagel, smiling on the times that we spent together. Worlds was a blast. Oh man, we should have fired more shots at Sugi. Okay, never mind. Let's go. I don't want this to go on any longer. Good night.
You hugged him. You can't fire a shot.
I didn't fucking hug him. You
You
hugged
did.
him. I shook his
I also-
hand.
I think I hugged him, guys.
Oh my.
Reflex hugged him.
Okay,
Well,
We didn't talk about the crates.
that's
You
it.
should have talked about your love affair.
dude. I'm trying to sign off. Goodbye. Goodbye. It's over. Goodbye.